All right. Welcome once again to the Independent Black Voice. I'm your host, beatzillapdx official. And this is a broadcast talking of, kind of giving my take on the whole Ghanaian reparations farce, attempted hijack that they tried. So we'll open up this video right off the rip with letting you know our stance.
Africa is not our voice. I think Ghana needs to get the main message that Africa is not our voice. To the family in the South, to the family in the West, to the family in the North, to my family in the Midwest, if they come to your grave site, your burial site, you pull up too and say one simple thing. Africa is not our voice.
Especially the African country that is murdering.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. And there's still things going on in Ghana, which, they need to address. And there's a lot of people out here trying to jump on board with this. But quite frankly, they are just liars and grifters. And now they're trying to figure out how to make some kind of push to really make it seem as if now the Democrats want to somehow talk about reparations, but they're having a hard time addressing it since all of the shills had already came out and attacked us over reparations, but not just the shills. Yeah, not just the shills, folks. Maybe you might remember this particular afternoon.
Why y'all keep on that?
And see right there, to make it right for Black America.
I am Greg Marcel Dixon, and I approve this message.
Shout out to our brother, Greg Marcel Dixon. And I believe that is, I believe that's old footage. But nonetheless, that's from an older campaign. But always remember that. That's how, that's how Clyburn was handling it. How he wanted to deal with Black folks, at the fish fry. And not only that though, remember moments, like this. And I'm playing these because when people start saying about voting and reparations and we need to talk about the Democrats and we need to vote for the Democrats, we need to make sure we get those Democrats in. Remember this. Let's show you. Remember this, folks. Remember how this one went down?
How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
Pay me back? I don't want anything out of this. All I want is a country that my children and grandchildren can be able to develop in and be able to pursue their dreams and aspirations. I've been around. I'm full scores. I'm beyond the promise.
He's beyond the promise, but he has there's nothing that he could get done for Black America. He's the picture of the promise though, but that's not really anything I'm looking for, no. What? And I want to remind people, because these Democratic shills get on their high horse and act like we have short memories, or better yet, that we don't still have the receipts. And they did wrong about that. We'd open this up.
With real authority at that department. Look underneath just what we're doing in addition to the people we've already named. you're going to see people. Look, and, Cecilia Rouse, Cece, she is a significant player. That's a serious position. But it's like when I name it, well, I don't know if that counts. I'm not so sure. Well, if it doesn't count for y'all, well, the hell with y'all. But because it's real, it's real.
I gave her this little token position, and it's real. It's a real position. Why does he have to stress that the position is real to them? See, he has to stress it's real to them because they understand the game, and they all just look on the screen. All of these people are comfortable playing the game. Al Sharpton is one of them, by the way. They're comfortable playing the game and saying, so he says, this was real. This wasn't one of those token jobs. These are your so-called black leaders sitting up here listening to this. And then don't forget, Al Sharpton promptly came out of that meeting and told you and told the world that Joe Biden really understands our needs. And don't think that all of this that you're seeing is not about us and reparations. It is. Because why would these same people be so reversed in their thinking and speaking these days? Like this guy here.
Let's admit the truth. Everywhere people go, they're asked for a social security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a social security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Oh, wow. Wow. But now it is Jim Crow 2.0. That's Chuck Schumer right there for his own words, explaining to you the importance of having voter ID. All right. Well, so those are the Democrats flip-flopping on their stances. And so now them firmly ignoring the conversation of reparations for so many years, now all of a sudden they are talking as if they want to have some kind of, some kind of stake in our reparations claim. And as we know, they just simply do not have. Let me see. I got to get this video in here because it was already supposed to be downloaded. So let me get this video. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, but in the meantime, just for intermission and time's sake, remember the message
Africa
of this
is
broadcast.
Not our voice. I think Africa is not our voice. I think Ghana needs to get the main message that Africa is not our voice. To the family in the South, to the family in the West, to the family in the North, to my family in the Midwest. If they come to your grave site, your burial site, you pull up too and say one simple thing. Africa is not our voice.
Especially the African country that is murdering.
There it is.
Here in the United States, Black history courses are being removed from school curricula. Schools are being mandated to stop teaching students about the truth of slavery segregation.
Why is this Ghanaian man concerned about what's going on in our schools with our education and our history? Kind of funny when you think of our historic creations like hip hop and like Essence Fest. These things that people have been telling us for the past few years are communal, right? And they evolve and all of that type of thing. So why now? Are they not talking about the evolution of Ghana and all of that, but instead their conversation is literally focused on Black American history. How does that affect Ghana? I don't get the connection.
Segregation and racism in American history courses. Books about those topics are being banned in schools and public libraries.
They have not been banned in public libraries. What the hell is he talking about? What book is banned in public library? And not all of those books have been banned in schools. You might say some have been banned in Florida, but that's about it, buddy. What are you talking about?
Museums, art centers, and other institutions whose budgets rely in any way on public funds are being prohibited from scheduling exhibitions and programs or from displaying materials promoting racial awareness or Black history.
Where is this taking place in Ghana? Because all we have seen is the exploitive money-grabbing aspect when it comes down to Ghana and us. See, they will use us going into slavery as tours and, this. So, us going in and coming into the worst Holocaust ever on this planet is a moneymaker for them. It's not some kind of ode to us. There's no money being sent to America and to the Black folks here. So I'm again confused of why this man, I don't understand. Why does he feel that he has a connection about how our history is taught in our country? What is he talking about? This seems very out of order.
Much like the law that was put in place to regulate the punishment of the enslaved in Barbados, these policies are becoming a template for other governments as well as some private institutions. At the very least, they are slowly normalizing the erasure. They are slowly normalizing erasure.
That didn't start with the Trump administration. And so what erasure is he talking about? Is he talking about, oh, wow. If you listen closely, it almost sounds like he's trying to imply that maybe people that push delineation or part of the Trump regime. Are you catching that line? It's low key, and what you'll see is the Shills high key posting that online as a real legitimate theory, but it's not. Oh Lord. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Jennifer Morgan up. They're just eating that crap up like this is real. Man, miss me. Really. I mean, really, you could really freaking miss me with that. I don't know what to say about that, man. That's just ridiculous. So they've tried to come over there, and then they've enlisted the help of our local resident sellouts.
Thank you, and good afternoon. As Black America's Attorney General, a title conferred.
Negro, what? As Black America's Attorney General, who the hell titled you that? No, sir. No, sir.
Upon me by my mentor, our civil rights leader, Reverend Al Sharpton, and other Black Americans.
Yeah, hell no. Hell no. Yeah, applied to you by Al Sharpton, another federal snitch. I don't think so. Rats don't run the yard. You guys are rats. You don't run the yard around here. Sorry. And speaking of rats, let's further go into Well, first let's get the American resolution and let's hear this in entirety, because I have the clip, but I would actually play this whole thing in its entirety because he says something.
The United States remains steadfast in its opposition and condemnation of historic wrongs that resulted from the transatlantic slave trade.
Okay, so right there, they acknowledge the damage in the slave trade. So when you're going to start hearing these SEALs trying to play word games and semantics with this, understand that America, Israel, and Argentina, that's an acknowledgement of the harms done and saying they've been trying to address it, but they are worried or concerned with addressing it to their people who were harmed. So that's what that's more or less saying. Let's get further into it, because SEALs don't like to go through things like this. They just like to gaslight. So to put some water on that, or put some sand and salt on that fire, that's what we're going to do right now. So let's walk it through.
The trans-Saharan slave trade and all other forms of slavery. We remain committed to the acknowledgement that these historical wrongs. Despite this, the United States observes that the text of this resolution remains highly problematic in countless respects.
Now, see, they're not saying they're not wanting to acknowledge the slave trade. They're saying that they acknowledge the slave trade and the harms done. They are rejecting the resolution. Don't let these people gaslight you. They are rejecting the resolution. That is mightily different than saying we're rejecting slavery being the harm. They first acknowledge that in their statement. So let's see what's wrong with the wording.
Consequently, the United States cannot support the adoption of this resolution.
Why not?
We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security.
Mm-hmm.
It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates.
Did you hear that? See, when we talk about reparations in America, there is no international meeting that needs to take place. So are you catching what he's saying? And that's why he put these things in there. You're catering to people outside of America with this. That's not about our foundational Black American reparations that are due to us by our own government. That is outsiders trying to give them wording and go around even America to go to the UN to try and get part of our reparations. And mind you, using our history and our story to do it while only having the typical boule rats like Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, you know, those notorious treacherous sellouts as some kind of shield for their grift. And that's what we're looking at, folks, just to be real. But let's hear some more.
This resolution does all three. The United States has defined long-standing objectives to the framing of reparatory justice. And
did you hear that language? Reparatory justice. And saying America has been looking at dealing with this already. Did you catch? Why didn't nobody, that part didn't seem to jump out at a lot of people, that America has already been looking at this. And this ain't by no HR 40. This means that America has to count the cost of what the grassroots have been pushing. And it's not going away because the grassroots are the parents of the future voting blocks. Period. But let's keep going.
The duty of reparation for historical wrongs. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, we do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law. The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they were.
Now, that right there, and America definitely will have to acknowledge that. Because, see, trying to say what was legal, what's legal in Iran is legal in Iran, and you're going over there to change what they deem to be legal. And you're saying, well, it's not by this. No, that is not a good enough excuse for not paying the people that you harmed. And now you're trying to run around being a moral authority. You can't turn around and be moral cowards. And this is the grandstanding of moral cowardice. So let's be clear. Foundational Black American people, as myself, as an independent voice, no, I do not stand for this.
They occurred. In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be.
And that should not be vague, because when you're talking to America, our conversation is cut and dry clear. So see how they're trying to muddy the waters? And remember, Mr. Professor Smalls got out there talking that bullshit. Dr. Mayotte got out there promoting that bullshit. Never forget them traitors. I don't give a damn whether you an elder or not. I'll miss me with the gaslighting crap. Talking about, well, we're not going to let our elders be besmirched. If your elder is a CIA plant, then they going to be besmirched. Shit. I don't know what's wrong with you. We don't have no respect to person. It's about the code and nothing else. Get your heads out your asses and get your hearts out your brains. Start using logic and common sense, and stop trying to listen to people you like just because you like them. If the shit is off, it's off. And this right here, family, just because they were a good person 20, 30 years ago, they may have been in these films and talked good to you yesterday. If they took $1 from these people and they're changing their tune today, stop listening to them, because they don't represent nothing we talking about, and all they have done is sat up there with the government while calling us agents. Fuck them people. Let's just keep it a buck.
The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims. The United States remains steadfast in its opposition.
Distantly related to the victims. That means, when they try to Africanize everything and we say we're not African, that means that conversation. So when you're hearing delineation, we've been on the cutting edge. And of course, see, these downtrodden tethers, they can't understand the fact that we set the tone, not the goddamn government. We literally set the tone, and the government followed suit to see how they could maximize the best thing that they could do. Because at the end of the day, we are a group of people unlike any other. And when we get together and we say this is what it's going to be, family, that is what it's going to be. Unfortunately, we have people around us that don't understand certain things. So they'll get out there and they make these dumbass videos and make themselves look like dummies, sounding like bitches. But let me show you one.
FBAs are nothing more than white supremacist adjacent. They're sellout adjacent.
You can't prove it, bitch ass nigga. But, you know, nonetheless, let me hear you go off because, see, this is one thing I can't stand about suck ass niggas like this. I'm from Portland, Oregon, so I understand white supremacy as well. They always say white supremacy adjacent, but never can explain the connection between a white supremacist because there is perfect examples within the Proud Boys, within TPUSA, all of these other people and talking heads out there. Who the hell do we sound like, my man? Since we are white supremacist adjacent, make the damn comparison for once instead of you hoe ass niggas always coming out here making the same redundant talking point and never proving what you say. You're not a man doing that. You're let's go on.
They're whitewashed adjacent. I don't want to hear nothing from no FBA members about them trying to be a part of the conversation as it pertains to that UN meeting with Ghana bringing the transatlantic slave trade to the conversation and trying to get us reparations.
Didn't try to get us reparations, hoe ass nigga. And see, that's the thing that he keeps missing. That's why I want to talk about these shields and the shit they doing. See, this is a bald-faced lie. Let's reiterate on who they talking about.
In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafter.
Well, then that makes you a liar, hoe ass nigga.
Which, by the way, thank you to Ghana, thank you to all of Africa. But you fucking FBA bitches sit up here and you focus and you obsess over dividing up melanated people.
Once again,
in addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be.
Then that means that it's not for Black Americans. So with all of this vibrato, you need to sit your whole ass down, man.
It don't matter whether they in America or whether they in Africa. I don't want to hear no motherfucking FBA bitch sitting up here trying to be included into something you say you not.
In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is the United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims.
Okay, so that right there exposes this nigga for being a straight fuck-ass nigga liar. So what I'm saying is, when you hear these hoes like Don Solomon and you see these CJs and all of these people come out here and they start posting fuck nigga videos like this, make sure you understand the truth. These dudes do not speak for us. They are the voice of the powers that be, because always remember, where you see these people, there is a financial system attached to why they are there. These are the funding partners to make sure they are committed to reforming and transforming reparations and making sure that it doesn't just get into the hands of these pesky foundational Black Americans, but it goes to the diaspora and gets controlled by all of those other people who are colonized, not the oppressed. See, that's why people like this could never be trusted. Always be weary and leery of dudes coming out here with this loud vibrato, screaming loud and wrong. I just showed you how literally these people are trying to get money while excluding foundational Black Americans. I don't know how many times I can play it, but the resolution was rejected because it literally excludes foundational Black Americans. I want to hear one of these anti-FBA bitches explain that, because he's not. He's just going to whine and try to gaslight. But I just want you to see from now, look how much time this is for him to go off about a lie. We've already debunked it within 41 seconds. So I just want you to see how much money they are putting into reviving this. What was it with Hillary Clinton? Because I know a nigga that was part of that. Had to cuss his ass out because he couldn't stay off my shit with that. What they call it? Correcting the record. Yeah, this ain't nothing but correct the record. And so now they're coming out and see, he does a video. He got all this high vibrato, like he's yelling and he's screaming. He's dressed in a brown shirt and brown baseball cap. So clearly that's not UPS, but he's trying to look like he's a worker. So let me stand in front of this truck, but you're in front of a semi-trailer using a ring light. Are you freaking kidding? This is production, folks. Now, I'll just play a little more of it, but I cannot stand bitch-made niggas like this who take money from white folks to sit up here and scream on black folks. I hate these type of people.
You're not African, right? That's what y'all say. You ain't from Africa at all. That's what y'all say, right? So then it shouldn't be no FBA member sitting up here trying to be a part of the reparations conversation, because if you track it back, if you know your history, if you did any level of real motherfucking research.
All the while he's doing all of this screaming, he's screaming on a grift that absolutely excludes foundational black Americans.
In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is the United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims.
So what that says, you hoe ass, meaning foundational black Americans are the people that they acknowledge starting this particular conversation. And here comes the Africans, and they're calling out the Africans for trying to come and get the foundational black Americans' money. So the goddamn Ghanaians didn't do shit, but go over there and try to get our shit. So the fact that you keep talking about foundational black Americans as if we're jealous of the Ghanaians, bitch, please. They had to go out there to try to be us, not the other way around, weirdos. So when you see fuck niggas like this, and I'm telling you, and I'm talking like this because I mean what I say, they are what they are, and I will never have any respect for suck-ass niggas like this, because these people are proud to take money besmirching they own. So to that regard, I have no love for sucker-ass niggas like that whatsoever. Y'all may have an issue with me talking like that. I guess we'll have to address that later. But let me tell you, the message of the day.
Africa is not our voice. I think Ghana needs to get the main message that Africa is not our voice. To the family in the South, to the family in the West, to the family in the North, to my family in the Midwest, if they come to your grave site, your burial site, you pull up too and say one simple thing: Africa is not our voice.
Especially the African country that is murdering.
Yeah, and another little tasty tidbit of news that popped up with this whole Ghanaian and this African Union business. Yeah. Let's take a look at this before we get out of here.
Hey everybody, Tim Burks at the Sleeping Foreign Affairs. I put an amendment on the bill to eliminate the African Development Foundation It's supposed to be an independent federal agency, but what happened was the director was, let's see, what did they do? They found him, he pled guilty of financial fraud. He was indicted by the Department of Justice in January of 2026. And so basically the bill just abolishes the organization. It's your tax dollars. It's going to Africa. Bring it home. I don't care. I'm getting tired of this. And then, of course, every Democrat opposed it. They put a bunch of amendments on it to gut it. And righteous indignation. It goes back to my original premise that these funds are probably sent back in the form of dark money to campaigns and other things, allegedly. So we'll see what happens when the bill comes up in committee, the full bill with the amendment, and see how it's voted on. I've already had some Republicans say that they had some problems with it, but we got to quit spending this money overseas. It ought to just make you furious that we're even having these kind of discussions, but that's what we're doing. Anyway, and the chairman and the ranking member got into it for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. I'm sure you could watch it on YouTube tonight. It'll be quite comical, I'm sure. But I'm disgusted. Thank y'all for sending me here. We'll keep fighting.
Who remembers Joe Biden giving all that money to Africa and them African leaders, and then had Gladys Knight singing for him? Y'all remember that? Yeah, I do. And see, one of the things that I saw then is like, oh no, I told y'all about the pivot then. I was like, oh, they trying to make Africa like, oh man, Africa, because remember what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden apologized to Africa for the slave trade. Yeah, he said nothing about Black Americans. So this is why they feel comfortable to come over here doing what they did. But see, it's a new regime here, so that didn't quite go as planned. And rightfully so. It wasn't supposed to. That was wrong for them to be doing. And we are not here for people's abuse. I don't know what's wrong with folks. We are not here to be abused by these people. We are not here for them to get over on us nonstop. It is not our job. And I wish people would stop talking to us like it. Because this is one thing that really irritates me, folks, is looking at all of these people who keep trying. Now they're trying to say that, oh yeah, like that asshole. You guys don't try to be part of this reparations. They don't have a reparations claim with America. So that doesn't even make sense. How the hell does Ghana, which was not in existence at the time, as they want to say, because when it comes down to being part of being slavers, all of a sudden people start talking that, well, Ghana wasn't in existence. Well, then how the hell are they getting anything from America? You see how that works? So, you know, that's a stone cold grift. Anybody not seeing that for what it is a liar. And of course, we know these Democratic idiotic shills are nothing but liars. And most of these people are people that have to do what they're doing. So, you know, go check their paperwork, because chances are, just like that Paul Bird song, they might have one of them issues, one of them conviction issues somewhere on their record, and it ain't no like cool conviction. It's a not okay conviction. And so they be doing certain things for the government, you know, so they can function cool in society. Just got to keep an eye on people like that, man. And I see it as clear as day. So really, anybody that's coming at you talking this nonsense about, well, you guys got to go ahead and you guys are supporting the MAGA and the Republicans if you guys ain't getting behind what Ghana are talking about. Ghana's resolution excludes foundational Black Americans. And I don't know how you're going to get around that. They are excluding. That is a complete, utter grift. That is no help to us. It is a disrespectful, dishonest, backstabby move to make for them. They made it, and they're comfortable making it. And we don't owe them shit. So I wish people like that dude would really get his head out of his ass, because we got too many of them Democratic shields that act like they pro-Black, but really...
Toby be good nigga for massa. Good nigga.
And we don't have no time for that. So at the end of the day, message of the day is...
Africa is not our voice. I think Ghana needs to get the main message that Africa is not our voice. To the family in the South, to the family in the West, to the family in the North, to my family in the Midwest, if they come to your grave site, your burial site, you pull up too and say one simple thing: Africa is not our voice.
Especially the African country that is murdering.
Shout out to our good brother Melrose. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, never forget to tell these coons, Sambos, and the devils that they work for that Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? And I'm sure there's somebody out there right now saying, man, that nigga don't know what he's talking about. He over here, they just love the Republicans and they loving Trump. Hey, idiot, look at the name. It says The Independent Black Voice Channel. It does not say The Republican Voice Black, or the Republican Black Voice, or the Democrat Black Voice, or the Green Party Black Voice. No. Independent Black Voice, meaning you have to address the Black independent voter. I know that might be hard for some to understand. You might say, well, man, well, no, but I mean, if you're not with the Democrats, then it's automatically for Trump. No, you son of a bitch. Hear me good. I speak for myself. I represent myself. There is no party or corporation or outside country that speaks for me. Listen to my words good. We are about Black empowerment, and if that is not on the agenda, then you probably will not get our vote. And I know how some people say now, like, what are you gonna do now? Especially for those of y'all who are talking so crazy to foundational Black Americans, and now your party is being looked at as saying, hey, why ain't they talking about reparations? And now what are you gonna say for us to try and support them going into these midterms? Just remember, you shills, you sunk their ship. And quite frankly,
you shouldn't have been talking shit.
If you believe it wasn't your fault for bringing down your own party, well, I speak for myself. beatzillapdx official, the Independent Black Voice, those of you in the chat, those of you in the replay gang in the comments, and the Black Grassroots, and of course, the voices of New Black Media, which of course, moving into April is New Black Media Appreciation Month. Shout out to our good sister Eve and our good brother that has founded this institution of honoring these voices. And so I appreciate that once again. It's been my pleasure. And watching all of this whole sector grow, it's been great. And there are those of you who say, well, you guys, something needs to be done with you guys. Yeah, we need to be listened to. We don't need to be stifled, stopped, or anything like that. We need to be respected and listened to And we will call out everybody that tries to hamper that. You can't understand it, like I said. We proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Right now, there's some Democrat operative like.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What?
Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, family, y'all keep y'all 3 smooth stones. Well, first, wait, back up. First, y'all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. Email me at outrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you could do so by way of donation at CashApp. That is $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak, which is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And family, never forget why they hate us.
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor. You really got to do it. 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Family, oh boy. Keep your 3 smooth stones at the ready and your slingshot nearby. Y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed week. Rest of the weekend and blessed week. Peace. So if any black people want reparations
And want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about
tethers,
trying to be all in the video,
speaking for black people,
dancing.
come to New Black Media and the Black Grassroots. Peace.